you could say what you want or believe what you want as a fan or as an outsider looking in, but
because we just looking outside.
Yeah, that's all we have.
That's all we got.
That's all we have, and you could give your opinion, but to say that your opinion is 100% correct without the 100% truth of the matter is foolish.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. Know what time it is. But let me ask you this.
Think about it.
Yeah. We had Rainwater came in here and he said he'd never seen a successful pimp. Like basically,
I see when he said that.
What do you think about that? Is that true statement?
You know, everybody has their own. The thing about life is like watching a piece of artwork. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of us in this room, and it's let's say a Basquiat on the wall, $1 million Basquiat. I say, man, the color scheme just jumps off the canvas. You say, man, how he used words in it just captivates me. You say, man, it's how he just erratic with it and it's all over the place. Everybody focuses in on something different and everybody finds what resonates with them and that's what they speak to. So what Rainwater considers success and what the next person considers success may be two different things. So by him saying he's never seen a successful pimp, he's only going by his perspective. I used to say this all the time, and then I had to realize, because I remember when ZRos done the interview with somebody and he said Houston didn't show love.
Yeah, he got a lot of flack for saying that too.
And the whole truth about it is there isn't an artist in Houston as loved as ZRos. He's probably the most loved Houston artist within Houston.
Today still?
He still, his following is strong. His following is definitely strong. His base ain't gone anywhere. But probably as you got J-Dog, you got Fast Lane, you got some loved artists, but the streets of Houston loved ZRos, man. And this is the point I'm trying to make. They love ZRos so much, you know, when they was burning CDs and they had the CD book where you could you'll get in somebody's car and you'll be flipping through the book and you'll see nothing but CDs with ZRos wrote in marker on it. I know my partner Twin, he was a ZRos fanatic, man. He had an entire book with none but ZRos CDs. And I always said that ZRos, even though he was big within the city, like if they wouldn't have bootlegged ZRos as much as they did, ZRos probably would be the richest rapper in Houston. He's the most bootlegged artist in Houston.
Nah, you can't deny ZRos talent.
Yeah, probably the only other thing that was bootlegged more than ZRos in Houston is probably a screw tape. Right. That's probably the only thing that got more copies within the streets that wasn't retailed. But
let me ask you this. Since you spoke about ZRos, when you seen this Trae and ZRos stuff go down, and then he went to the news, how did you feel about that?
You know, Trae and ZRos both, I got relationships with both of them. Right. It was crazy, man. I really didn't. I don't know. Until this day, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Right, because I felt like
because
he was just the streetest and solidest artist that you could, you know, like everything about him, like.
Yeah,
when that happened, I just couldn't believe it. In my take, I thought I'd never seen him take an L, and I don't think he knew how to handle that.
You know, possibly. I didn't talk to him directly about that. We spoke after it, but it didn't come up. I didn't even touch on it. Now, I talked to Trae several times during while everything was happening. And see, a lot of people, everybody had something to say. And you know, unless you really know what happened, how it happened, and even still to this day, ZRos is sticking with his story and J Ton is sticking with his story. You know, and they was the only two in that car. So nobody really knows but ZRos and J Ton what happened, because they was the only two in the car. So you could say what you want or believe what you want as a fan or as an outsider looking in, but
because we just looking outside. You know?
Yeah, that's all we have.
That's all we got.
That's all we have. And you could give your opinion, but to say that your opinion is 100% correct without the 100% truth of the matter is foolish. You know what I'm saying? But the optically, it did not look good. It was an L for us as a city, for hip hop. It didn't look good at all. The clip didn't look good, even though, you know, it was stuff that happened. And that's what we do as a society. You see it every day, all day online. Everybody try to surmise this broad picture with a small stroke. Right. We see this much and we automatically, it's this, but you don't have enough context to really understand. You just know what you seen at that moment, and anybody could be vilified or made to look however somebody wants you to look by just taking this portion and offering it up to society for everybody to judge. And that may not be what the truth is, because all of this here transpired to get to this point. Something had to happen to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? And that's with anything.
Would you say that most of the city was disappointed in the way he handled that, as far as getting on the news and
ZRos? Yeah, it was a lot of people disappointed, but it was still a lot of people that stood with him. Especially Mexicans love him to death.
right. For sure?
Yeah, because when we turned around and won the World Series, and they was coming downtown celebrating, and when Trae came by on the thing, them essays let him have it. You know what I'm saying? They let him have it, because them essays, Vatos love the fuck out of ZRos. Like, I don't know what it is about ZRos, but if it's like, I don't know, have you ever seen the death of Superman?
Yeah.
You remember when it took place, and I was in the 11th grade when they killed Superman off. Superman powers went into like 4 separate entities. It went into a black man named Steel, a robot, a little boy, and android.
Yeah, cyborg.
A cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, I view like that's what kind of happened with Pac died. Like different parts of Pac just shot out, and ZRos got the pain down pat.
Yeah.
Like ZRos.
Broke that down pretty damn good.
Now, because
ZRos got the pain down pat, because and I wasn't the biggest ZRos fan. You know what I'm saying? Because it was all pain, and you know what I'm saying? And I was getting full of that dunk. Hey man, I can't stand, because I'm full of this dunk, fool. And I can't stand, just the pressure of you just, it's too much. And anybody who, indulge in certain activities understand, the pressure of being high on PCP and somebody's just piling something on that's just, stockpiling. And not to say he wasn't a great artist, but it was just too much pain. And I was like, damn. You having money, you fucking bitches. Every day ain't that bad, man.
That, and I was just gonna ask you, like, cause I couldn't listen. I listened to Trae more. I consume more Trae music than Zero music because Trae was actually talking about living a good life, and Zero was like, it's so painful. It's like, you know, I've had people who had instances with Zero when they would walk up on him and be like, "I'm your biggest fan," and he just look at
he
and it's like you have everybody has this high vision of you, but yet in real life, you conduct yourself like
Asshole by nature.
like what Trae stand for, but really. But your life is very good.
Yeah, but in all actuality, and I think me and Jay had a conversation, and I told him, like, we was talking about Kendrick and Rakim today, how they recluses and hermits, and, you know, everybody, just because I'm cake ass nigga don't mean I want you to run up on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so everybody got their moments, and not I rap good,
right?
But that don't mean that I want you all up on me. And so people automatically, like I told Jay earlier, we was at the barbershop. Shout out to Pure Cuts. Shout out to everybody at Pure Cuts. And you know, a cat ran up on me one time, and wherever you at, cake at. But yeah, and so I really wasn't in the mood. You know, I try to be cordial and respectful all the time because I know people love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got a genuine love for me because I'm open, I'm honest, and, you know, I just am what I am. But that day, and I was honest with, I was like, Kinfolk, I really don't feel like it today. And, you know, he told me, when you outside, you belong to the public. And I was like, what? I don't belong to damn motherfucker. And then he told me, he said, you know, stay in the house. What? So, you know, you have these moments and these instances, like, okay, yeah, I rap. This is my job. This is my profession. But right now at this time, I'm not a rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to be bothered. But people just feel they can't respect that. They don't care about, you just lost your mama. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is that they feel like you belong to them at that moment.
You know, do you think if people had met Zero prior to hearing his music, that he would be as popular as he is today?
That's a good question. Because
I guess I'm asking because, you know, when you trying to blow up, you're a people person. You kissing these babies.
Well, he wasn't doing that to blow up. He didn't even do that to blow up.
Okay.
The music just, you know, yeah, the music. The first time I ever heard him was on Screw Play, that Gorilla Mob, I owe it to the South Side. That's the first time I heard him on that Gorilla Mob, and I didn't know who it was. I just know the song Jam. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But he wasn't out here shaking hands and kissing babies to get to that point.
Yeah, no.
His music just connected with everybody. Cause like I said, the pain and the struggle, and, you know, but Zero, if you listen to Zero enough, you really think Zero was homeless and,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a good experience with Zero when I first met him.
Nah, the crazy part about it is he loved me to death. You know what I'm saying? Loved me to death, man. He ain't, every time he see me, he's upbeat. But before I just get all the way back, because y'all speaking on success, and I always thought that Zero should be more successful because of how much love he had. But who am I to say what success looks like to Zero? You know what I'm saying? Because him coming from nothing, because I know dudes who grew up with him, and I know he come from way less than humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? My dude who I work with, he say they used to have a nickname from, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, damn, y'all used to call him that? He was like, yeah, that was his name growing up. And cause, you know, he really didn't have much. So to go from having less than nothing to having, you know, really, you had Houston.
Right.
You had Houston for sure. Now what else? I wasn't pocket watching. I wasn't keeping up with him like that. What outside of Houston, who followed him, who loved him, but you definitely had the city, and he moved. And Because the very first time I ever seen him was in the hole off of Mesa, and it was a bad little yellow broad up in there, and he was knocking her down. So life wasn't all that bad.
Right.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.